Let's talk about Python packages. So far, we have talked about how to create reusable code by combining a group of code into functions and grouping multiple functions and attributes into classes. These functions and classes are all written in normal Python files and become Python modules that could be imported into other files. So here's a problem. As we have more modules, what happens when we have multiple modules that have the same name? For example, there is a Python standard library called math. What if we want to create our own module, also named math? By the way, it is considered a bad practice to name your module the same name as the standard library, but let's just say we have a good reason for it. How will we differentiate the two? For that, we have to discuss namespace. A namespace is basically a system to make sure that all the names in a program are unique, so they could be used without conflict. If you have been in network engineering for a while, you might remember the days when we talk about an ATM being asynchronous transfer mode instead of the ATM machine from the bank. That is kind of a namespace collision because they're not unique. Imagine if you have an empty basket. You started to put balloons in the basket. When you put that first balloon in the basket, it is okay to refer to it as the balloon because that is the only one in there. We could continue to put in a ball, a hammer. As long as they're unique, we're okay to just refer to them by their names. But if we have to put in a second balloon into the basket, we now have to differentiate the new balloon. So maybe we could refer to the new balloon as new.balloon. Same pattern would have followed if we would put in another hammer, another ball, and so on. When we first start our Python program, we have an empty global namespace. We're free to create variables and functions without any potential conflict in that global space. When we start to import other modules, we start to fill that global space with different names. By default, if we use just a module, they belong to a namespace under that module's name. For example, if we import the module A, the method A under A will be referred to as A dot followed by the method name. Python packages take that one step further by creating a top-level folder and namespace. So when we put the same module into that package, we will refer to it as package.a.methodName. Let us take a look at some of the code examples to make it more clear.